What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Misunderstood. Za-Quan that's me. We had a ball game today. Thursday night was a night of basketball, not just NBA basketball. We got some college to talk about. I realized I don't talk about enough college, which is pretty weird because it's January. You know, about to about to start. The tournaments that they be doing to get ready for the big dance. So it's about time to get more familiar with our student athletes. The men's and the women, especially my favorite basketball team for the women's side, those UConn Huskies. You know, man, love those girls. Love them for about 20 years now. You know, so we're gonna talk a little bit of college later on, but first thing first, ooh, we gotta discuss that beating the Clippers took against the Nuggets. Man, that beating is not even the word, really, man. That was more like an assault. That was really more like an assault. Like, did not come to play at all. Like, zero came to play. And what's so weird about this game is, so here's the weird thing about this particular game, is the minutes they had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George play. You know, Kawhi Leonard only played 18 minutes in this game. Now I get it was a blowout. I understand that part, but the man, he probably played a total of 18 minutes in the season. Like the can the man play a little basketball? Like, what y'all expect? Y'all expect like, oh, it's gonna be a close game, and so in March, getting ready for like the playoffs and stuff like that. So let's make a statement and have Kawhi play the most minutes he probably played all season long. He gonna put up 40, 42 minutes, 45 minutes in this game because we need this game to get a better standing in the playoffs. And you think he just gonna be Superman? No, he might look a little rusty because he don't play that much this season. Paul George, I'm not too sure how many games he missed. I don't think he missed as much as Kawhi, but the man could use all the real time practice he could get. I mean, my God, like Paul George's game has not been impressive. And to be honest with you, I never been really big on Paul George. I look at Paul George now, and I said this to somebody before. Probably somebody I usually talk sports with. It wasn't recently. It was a several months ago. I said this, but I said this, and the person looked at me like I had three heads on my neck. But I stand on my word. Paul George to me is the 2023 Devin Booker. Not big on him. Think y'all expecting a little bit too much for these individuals. They're good players. They're decent. They'll be a solid number two as long as they playing under Steph Curry or LeBron or Kevin Durant, or Nikola Jokic or Luka. As long as they playing a spot side by side with them, oh yeah, might win a championship. And everybody expected so much out of Paul George when he was in Indiana. So just expected it, just it was sickening. It was sickening what y'all expected. Y'all expected like at least a finals appearance. It's like, why? So I never really been big on him, and I feel like between Kawhi Leonard not playing that often this season and Paul George, just let's put him in the game so he can work on his jump shot. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We're down about 43 points. Yes, you heard that number right. That wasn't an exaggeration. That wasn't me trying to be funny on the microphone. The Denver Nuggets had led as most as 43 points against the Los Angeles Clippers. And it was just and the way they did it was just nasty. I mean, Jamal Murray was just raining 3-pointers like he was, Ray Allen or somebody. He's raining 3-pointers. Caldwell Pope. Ooh, if anybody remember that name, can't pronounce his first name. I'm just gonna call him Kent. Kent Caldwell Pope. The way he was putting up 3-pointers, maybe I should try to remember, try to pronounce his name properly, because he was putting up 3-pointers like he was Ray Allen. Between Murray and Caldwell Pope, almost forgot. The man I have no real familiarities with. Not familiar with is what I'm trying to say. Not familiar with before Thursday's night game is their point guard from the bench, Bones Highland. And I'm surprised I'm not really familiar with him. Okay, first of all, that's a cool ass name. That's a cool ass name, first of all. Bones Highland. So I'm watching the game, and they, the commentators are saying his name, like, oh, Highland for three, and I'm thinking about the movie, I'm thinking about, like movies like I hear Highland, I'm thinking like, the Highlanders or something, and in my mind, when I heard his name, I just immediately thought there could only be one. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. His name sounded like something mystical, like a movie about, creatures and warriors and dragons from, obviously a 1993, 1992 type of movie. They was big on that, probably produced by Jim Henson or something. But his name just sounds so cool. Then later on, I found out he go by the name Bones. Bones Highland. Man, what a name. What a cool name. And what a game he had coming off the bench. He made 3-pointers in this game, and total of 16 points. Jamal Murray made 4 3-pointers in this game, and total of 18 points. Caldwell Pope, he had a good 3-point shooting game, but not a good shooting game overall. He made 3 3-pointers, but really it was the only shots he made. Every other shot, besides, he missed 2 3-pointers. So basically, he was putting up shots, and the shots he made were 3-pointers. Just so happened, but he was only 3 for 8 from shooting, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. Total of 9 points. The only shots he made was those 3 3-pointers. So that's 9 points. So, and then speaking about the Denver Nuggets for about 6 minutes now, I didn't even mention Jokic. You know why I didn't mention Jokic? Because he basically took a night off. He seriously took a night off. Like, it's so much of the game I don't remember seeing him in. So much. Like, and he played 24 minutes, so he was in the game, but even when he was in the game, it was like, where is he? He's here, but I mean, he looked like I'm just a body on the court. He looked like that. Like, just a body on the court. We need 5 people, so go ahead and just stand there. And it's not because his game was so horrible. It's because there was no need to use him. Like, no need to use him. Michael Porter Jr. played just as much minutes as Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray played just as much minutes as Nikola Jokic. Kent Caldwell Pope played more minutes than Nikola Jokic. You want to know who else played more minutes? A man named Kanker. I think I said his name right, not sure. A man named Kanker, off the bench, 15 points off the bench, played more minutes than Nikola Jokic. You had 4 4 players off the Denver Nuggets, including Bones Highland, one of my favorite new sports names now, sports athletes names, play 20 minutes or more. It was, and they still led as much about 43 points. The score was 122-91. The Nuggets scored. I mean, they won by 31 points, and it was the most fun. The most fun that I watched in this particular game was really the last 6 minutes. You know why? Because they started putting in the the reserves. Both teams, the Clippers and the Nuggets, and you know what happened when you have a team. You got 10 players on the basketball court playing big minutes on the basketball court. On the basketball court, and basically they're all on the same level. What's happening right now? Blowout, no blowout. This is what's happening right now. This is basically like a tryout. These reserves are basically playing. This is the only chance they got to really show the world and show the executives and show the coaches what I could do. Shoot, some of these players might be on their last contract coming up, where they're like, hey, I mean, let me show. If I want to play 20-something minutes right now, let me show what I could do in these 20 minutes. So maybe somebody might pick me up, so I could be the reserve for their top player on that team or something. Who knows? And that's exactly where it felt like I was watching. I felt like I was watching 10 players trying to show everybody what they could do, because it's the only time they're going to play this many minutes. I said that the Nuggets had 4 players off the bench to play over 20 minutes. The Nuggets had about 5, and one of them played 19 minutes. No starter of the LA Clippers played 20 minutes. Not one starter, with Paul George, the least minutes of his team, at 14. 14, the least on his team. 14 minutes. Damn. Bad shooting game from him. He was just throwing shots in the air. That's all he did. The only shot he made was a 3-pointer that he threw up in the air. It was just 1 of 5 that went in. He didn't contribute no type of other way. He had 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Just a bad game. Just sit down. Just sit down somewhere. Kawhi Leonard, very similar. He had 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Bad shooting game. Shot 2 3-pointers, missed both of them. Sat down for the rest of the game with 6 points. It was, I've been hearing about this Clipper team basically since last year. How they're supposed to be contending of the West and everything. I'm just like, I don't know where y'all see that at, because I see one superstar that y'all trying to make it to a mega star, but really he's the second best of a team that y'all treat like he's the first best of the team. And you got another superstar who's really, really good, really, really talented, definitely a Hall of Famer, but he can't stay on the court. He cannot stay on the court for nothing. Big game right there. That was a big game. It was it was interesting to watch. And even though it was a blowout, even though we had the reserves in, which I felt like was the most competitive of the game, was half of the fourth quarter when the reserves played, and they played really, really hard and everything. It was still fun to watch.